Shalom Akim, Yahweh Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai Ba'ashem Kadash. Double honors and salutations to the elders and apostle group and doing real well, and the Akim preaching the word of Hamashiach Yahweh Shai throughout the four corners of the earth. To you I say, Yahweh Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai Ba'ashem Kadash. Alright? Yep, Barakta, Yahweh Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai. Alright, so, short lesson to edify the hopeful light. So from the book of Proverbs, I'm going to read a quick precept. Proverbs chapter 14 verse 18, it tells you that the simple inherit folly. Alright, the simple inherit folly, but the prudent are crowned with knowledge. Okay, so that's the time we are in now. You know, the folly of the world is being exposed, and that time of division, the time of separation, is becoming more evident now. Then you know exactly which wisdom is the real wisdom that the world really needs. And then they're going to find out that is the wisdom of Yahweh Ba'ashem Shai Ba'ashem Kadash. And that's only, not only the Israelites, you know, the elect have access to it. Everybody else is just going to be, you know, trying to get a piece of it, but they can't attain it. Alright? And it's going to expose the cracks within Esau's system. And when you go further and you look at the debates that they had a couple of days ago, it just shows you that you know, America is not really about that juice anymore. America's really lost the juice because America's time is coming to an end, and Esau knows it. That's the reason why he's pushing so many distractions and draconian legislation to keep the people in line. All right, and these elites, they understand that the end is near, so they have to prepare to fight. Okay, that's the reason why they want to push for another round of rulership. You know, so I'll play this clip real quick.
Can you let him finish, sir?
No, he doesn't know how to do that. He has,
You'd be surprised.
You pick
You'd be surprised.
the wrong guy, the wrong night at the wrong time.
Listen, did you use the word smart? You graduated either the lowest or almost the lowest in your class. Don't ever use the word smart with me. Don't ever use that word.
Vote now.
You're going to pack the
Make
court?
sure you, in fact, let people know
He doesn't want
you're
to answer the
senator.
question.
I'm not going to answer the question.
Why wouldn't you answer that
because
question?
the question
you want to
is,
put a lot of new Supreme Court justices, radical left.
Will you shut up, man?
Listen, who is on your list?
You folks at home, how many of you got up this morning and had an empty chair at the kitchen table?
Yeah, that's the world that a lot of our people are fighting to be a part of, man. A world of left and right, you know, red and blue. You know, it's just a mess. All right, I'm not even gonna play much of the video anymore because it's just, you know, it's a waste of time. Because, you know, it's just a dog and pony show. Because they already know they're pulling the plug on America anyway, so they're just gonna pretend like they're down for the real deal. All right. So it says in the Proverbs chapter 14, verse 18, the simple inherit folly, but the prudent are crowned with knowledge. So for our people that go ahead and want to support the system, they're going to inherit foolishness. They're going to be found to be foolish, found to be liars, found to be losers. Okay, at the hour when the time of judgment comes, when they have found one thing, yep, then they're going to realize they wasted their time, you know, supporting a system that's about to be overthrown by the Lord. So another precept, if you go back to Proverbs chapter 5, verse 15, it tells you that drink waters out of thy own cistern and running waters out of thy own well. So like it. Well, drink Proverbs chapter 5 verse 15, drink waters out of thine own cistern and running waters out of thine own well. Okay, that's what it is. You know what the Lord has said before you, this gospel. you have to embrace it. You know, you don't have to be looking into other agendas, other, philosophies or whatever they want to call themselves, other beliefs to make your life much more productive and exciting. All you need is just the word of Yahweh Shema Shaba Shema Kwakadesh, just like he told us in John chapter 4, the water, the wellspring of life, out of our belly shall flow rivers of living water. You're not going to thirst. It's that simple. Then verse 16 says, let thy fountains be dispersed abroad, and rivers of waters in the streets. Let them be only thine own, and not strangers with thee. All right. And then it says in verse 18, let thy fountain be blessed, and rejoice with the wife of thy youth. So you have to focus on what the Lord has given you. Okay. And that's something we need to hold on to. And when you're trying to hold on to Esau's system of belief, you're gonna end up in a bad situation than you previously were. All right, because our people think that this so-called platinum plan that Trump proposed to our people is going to keep them away from harm, and misery, but it's not. Our people still under the curses. Okay, so there's no amount of stimulus, no amount of aid package that Esau can pass on to our people. That to ease their suffering, and only the Lord Yahweh Shema Shai could ease the suffering of our people. All right, so when you begin to wake up, you understand that all these debates, all this idea for democracy and socialism and capitalism, it's not going to bring any joy to our people. That's the reason why the Most has to tear down this system. And the whole world is mad because they've drunken of the wine of America, the wine of Esau, okay, the wine of Edom. So this is Isaiah chapter 25, verse 7. And he will destroy in this mountain the face of the covering cast over all people, and the veil that is spread over all nations. All right, so that mindset is going to be torn apart, and it's being torn apart now because a lot of folks see that, the so-called Western way it's not doing it for them, and they have to figure out what works best, and they don't want to have any more dealings with Esau's ideologies, because they know that it's not going to benefit them. That's why they are protesting. They're tired of all these elite men that always like to make their lives miserable and force them at gunpoint to comply, with their cronies. So, the Lord is going to make the people turn against their so-called, what you call them, the so-called overlords, okay? And when Jake begins to wake up and realize they're Israelites, then that's more kindling for the fire, all right? And then if you also look at the book of First Corinthians chapter 2, it tells you clearly, all right, that for you to have a better perspective, you have to let go of this world, okay? You have to let go of the mindset that Babylon wants you to have. So this is 1 Corinthians chapter 2, verse 12. Now we have received not the spirit of the world, but the Spirit which is of Yahweh, that we might know the things that are freely given to us of Yahweh. Okay, so you have to understand which mindset you have to be in. All right, you want to be free, you got to stick with Lord Yahweh Shema Shaba Shema Kwakadash. Verse 13, which things also we speak, not in the words which man's wisdom teacheth, but which the Holy Ghost teacheth, comparing spiritual things with spiritual, and that is balance. Okay, you understand the way things are, because you understand that the Lord is in control, and the folks that think that their thoughts and their desires is the end all be all, is the center of the universe, they're just wasting their time. They're circling the drain. Okay, and then verse 14 says, but the natural man receiveth not the things of the Spirit of the Most High Yahweh, For they are foolishness unto him, neither can he know them, because they are spiritually discerned. Alright? So when you're reading the scriptures, you understand what times you need to be in. You understand you have to wake up, and you can't be dwelling on all these, philosophies of Babylon, of showdown, who won the debate, who made the most points, who do you think the people are going to vote for. It doesn't matter who the people vote for. Babylon is going down the drain, the land of confusion. Okay, so just imagine when all hell starts to break loose and America is crumbling apart. With the so-called news reporters come on the news and try to quell the anger of the American people. No, because they're also part of the problem. Okay, they're there, to make sure that the people think a certain way. Okay, the minds of the people are warped. So that's why you have to pray that the Lord protects you and keep your mind sharp, so you don't get mixed up, in Esau's agenda. So our final precept, just keep this brief and short. It's going to be from the book of Ecclesiastes chapter 10. And it tells you in verse 2 and 3, it says, a wise man's heart is at his right hand, but a fool's heart is at his left. And what's your right hand? Your power. The wise man focuses on what is, important, to make his life balanced, make him a valuable individual to his peers and to his families, But when it comes to a foolish man, whatever he does, man, it's just always got to create turmoil, man. Always make things go out of balance. And that's the rulership of Esau. Okay, the time for the, for Esau's rulership is over. Okay, and the time of Jacob's rulership is coming to an end. So the time of the left is over, and the time of the right is on its way. Okay, so that's the reason why you have to be aware of what times you're living in. And then you look at verse 3, it says, yet also when he that is a fool walketh by the way, his wisdom faileth him. Why? Because he's not walking in the spirit. And that's one thing that our people need to be aware of, man. You have to let go of Esau's mindset, man. You have to let go of his image. Okay, because by our people not bowing down to Esau's image, Esau begins to lose power. And that's one thing the Lord has shown through his servants, the elect, that preach the gospel. That when you start to, let go of Esau's image, his dominion begins to wane. All right, his authority begins to be questioned and be critiqued and criticized. And that's one thing Esau can't stand. He can't stand criticism. That's why he's passing all type of laws, to hem people up. All right, and he said to everyone that he is a fool. And that's what it boils down to. When Esau's society is falling apart, then you know that the Lord spoke about it. Just like when you read Jeremiah chapter 28, verse 8, it lets you know. It lets you know what time you're living in, man. It lets you know what times you're living in. All right. It says, the prophets that have been before me and before thee of old prophesied against many countries, against great kingdoms, of war and of evil and of pestilence. Why? Because they were in the spirit. All right, they were speaking spiritually. They weren't speaking carnally. All right. And then when you look at verse 9, it says, the prophet will prophesy of peace. When the word of the prophet shall come to pass, then shall the prophet be known that the Lord hath truly sent him. So you're going to be able to discern, who the false prophets are and who the men of the Lord are. Okay, so that's the point that I can, the men of the Lord are not going to, find themselves entangled in this system of confusion. All right, it's time, our people let go of Babylon. That's what the scripture says, flee out of Babylon, let every man deliver his soul. So it's not really necessary, man, to be partaking in these so-called debates and all this election, whatever, and all these protests. It's not really helpful Alright, so Kahala Imla Yahweh Bashim Shai Bashim Kadash, the abundance and salutations to the elders and apostles of greatness doing real well, and the Akim throughout the four corners of the earth that preaching this gospel in sincerity and in truth to you. I say Shalom, and just keep your eyes peeled, don't let the cares of this world distract you from being spiritual. Shalom.